Hello and welcome back to the second episode of AI Showdown. I'm Silent the Hermit, and today we are going to see Sturgia take on the Aserai in a field battle. But before we get to that, I did make some changes to the format. All battles are now on the 1.9 beta branch, and I did make a mistake in the previous video where the RBM mod was only partially activated. I did activate the troop overhaul and posture section, while also taking out the spear rework mod due to RBM's built-in spear rework for the combat portion. I also did a quick test to the Empire vs Sturgia lineup, just in case things change. As you can see, Sturgia still lost, but it was a much closer battle overall.
Follow your sergeants!
Alright, we are starting off with Sturgia as the attacker against the Aserai as the defender. Both sides sending out their skirmisher cav to harass the enemy. Sturgia only with 50. The Aserai do have 100. All of their calves have skirmishing weapons. They will be able to harass Sturgia as they march. Really, Sturgia should plant their archers here. The AI should plant their archers so that they can turn and fire on these skirmishers. Right now they are being left unchecked. They are going to cause a lot of damage before Sturgia can even get to the enemy. They do have, looks like, 2 vanguards ahead of their main force, smaller troops. I don't know what this will accomplish. The Aserai are a skirmish heavy faction. Almost all their units having javelins to throw. Archers and skirmishers at the hill. It will make cavalry that much harder to harass them. They'll be able to fire for much longer on the infantry. Even when the infantry line engages, the archers will continue to fire because they have that elevation advantage. Sturgia's archers are just looking a little lost. Don't know whether to fire up at the archers or the cavalry coming around them. It does look like Aserai's cavalry has not suffered many, only one injury, one loss. We have another rear charge from the Aserai from the back, dealing heavy damage to the archers and to the infantry as well. Sturgia's cavalry taken nowhere to be seen. They've already been, most likely been picked off by the archers. Again, this has been consistent issue with Sturgia, that their troops just always fail to perform compared to the other factions. You see it here, that even in the infantry engagement, they're not pulling out on top. Aserai do have the advantage of maces and axes compared to Sturgia's axe and sword. With the way the combat module for realistic combat works, is that it gives extra crushing power onto axes and maces when it comes to heavy armor, whereas swords do not deal as much. The blunt damage from maces are able to completely crush through the armor, and then the axes are able to deal more damage to armor than a sword would. But I do believe the Aserai are slightly less armored than Sturgia, so Sturgia with their swords they're not completely outclassed, but already, as we can see from the balance of power, Sturgia is not looking great. Their archers are just unchecked up on this range. I'm not sure what Sturgia needs in order to not be so overwhelmed in these battles, since they are primarily an infantry-focused faction. Double cavalry charge just running through their archers, and also the infantry. As we saw from the replay of the last battle, Sturgia did match with the Empire fairly well. It was much closer battle that really only came down to the last 100 troops or so. But here it just looks like the Aserai are running away with it. Cavalry charge from the back, cavalry charge from the front. Just cycling through everybody. Infantry is already routing. The Aserai cavalry are just tearing through all the units. Really, the Aserai, all they had to do was sit on this hill, let their archers pick off the advancers in the back line. Doesn't look like their infantry really has to do much. They just have to stand there, stall for the harassment from the flanks of the cavalry. With Sturgia's entire army on the field already, the Aserai still having almost half their army in reserve, there's just no chance of Sturgia coming back from this. Now it does beg the question, is Sturgia going to ever pull out a victory in this tournament? Because they do have Valandia and Khuzait to fight coming up, and those two factions, Khuzaites are primarily a cavalry-heavy faction. They will have a larger cavalry ratio than what Sturgia has been fighting so far, as well as Valandia fielding perhaps the best cavalry unit, the Valandian Banner Knight or Banner Champion, whatever their Tier 6 banner unit is. It is, I believe, the best cavalry unit in the game, or on par with the Elite Cataphract. With those two factions, and with how Sturgia has been faring against the two factions so far, it does not look like they are in a good position against Valandia or Khuzait. Now, Battania is primarily focused on their infantry and archers, So they may have a chance against Britannia, but we will see if Sturgia can get a single victory in a field battle so far. Now they will have an opportunity to face every faction as a defender and as an attacker. So there's ample opportunity for them to get out a win. But it very well may not end up in their favor. They may have to rely on the village and siege maps for any chance of victory. Particularly siege defenses, as a successful siege defense will award double points for a victory. With them having walls and good infantry, they might be able to hold out on siege defenses. With village battle, they won't have to. They will have village as cover, so they won't be harassed as bad by the archers and cavalry. So that might also work in their favor as well. But we will see as Aserai, and even 500 troops left over. They have half their army intact, while Sturgia has lost about 70% of their army, the rest retreating. So that will conclude this battle of Sturgia versus the Aserai, with a victory for Aserai forces. This leaves us with the Empire with 1 victory, Sturgia with 2 losses, and the Aserai also with 1 victory. Our next episode will feature the Aserai as the attacker, and they will be facing off against Valandia as the defenders. I would like to thank you all for watching. My name is Silent the Hermit, and until next time.